Deku Fam!
Hey Deku Fam!
Welcome back to our channel!
Welcome back!
We are back with another video, and in this video we are continuing on the dating series, but we're talking about the myths of dating. My God.
Because we believe that the truth will set you free and a lie will hold you back.
100%.
And I'm just thinking back to when we were dating. There was a lot of people's opinions, a lot of useless advice.
Yeah.
So guys, we are coming to just share some of the useless things that we heard when we were dating, and hopefully you should try and park those to the side also if you ever come across them.
Okay, so the first myth of dating that we were told when we were dating is you must act like a husband or wife before you're actually a husband or wife.
And it wasn't that explicit, but it was in a subtle thing that they said. Like to Anna, they'll say, make sure you cook for him, make sure you take care of his every need. And then to me, people were telling me about making sure that I kind of provide for her and pay for everything, etc., etc., etc. And we stepped back and realized that, look, we are not married yet. Those things will come. But in this stage, we need to focus on getting to know each other, our desires, our values, and make sure those things were in line, rather than implementing all these physical things in order to kind of forge ourselves into a marriage when we wasn't actually there yet. Yeah,
and hands up, in my previous relationship, I pretty much gave my soul to my exes. Like, I did everything for them. I felt the pressure that I needed to be a wife quickly so that I could show them that I am of wife material before they even put a ring on it. And that was a big mistake because they got certain privileges that only my husband should have got. So when I started dating Gabes, I reined it back in. I was so specific. I was like, okay, right, we've only known each other this long, so I will not be cooking for him every day. I will not be doing certain things that
because people are very quick just to try to emulate marriage. They're like, I'm dating, I guess the goal is marriage, so start cooking, we're moving together, we share financial responsibility, and all we're doing is forging this commitment, and we haven't really established whether we truly like each other. Then if something does go wrong and we want to go back and we start seeing warning signs or red flags, it's tough to actually leave that relationship. Why? Because you're so invested. But subconsciously, you're telling yourself, oh, I love this person, that's why I want to stay in this relationship. But really, you forge yourself together that you can't actually get out when you actually discover all these red flags and warning signs.
And we love this line from the Bible, which is, do not awaken love before it's time.
Exactly.
There's a time for everything, and in the dating phase, it's the time to truly get to know each other without any of the added, extras or the things that they'll get when they're your husband and wife. Actually talk, communicate, get to know each other emotionally, get to know each other's deepest desires, and then see whether actually we are going to move to that next stage.
And then maybe you want to see whether your paths align rather than saying, oh yeah, like let's just do all this physical stuff, which actually leads to nothing. And if you actually end up breaking up, it just makes the breakup more difficult and more of an emotional experience. So guys, tread lightly. Don't just throw everything in there.
And one thing, just to close this point, that Gabes really respected the fact that I was actually saying no to a lot of things that maybe he wanted me to do.
My mum actually made jollof. I went home for the weekend when I was in university.
This was in our first week of dating.
No, you're just extra. But just to set the point, I went home, got some jollof from my mum. I was like, oh Anna, my mum has brought you some jollof. Here you go. This girl wouldn't accept my mum's jollof.
Listen.
She thought that was too much of a commitment for her.
Too much. I mean, mother-in-law, potentially, who I'd never met or even spoken to. She maybe knows about me and I'm here eating her food. I don't know.
Please put that in the comments. Is that too much or not?
That was just one of 10,000 rules that I had, where I was like, I'm not going to awaken love before it's time. Let me actually not be blindsided by, oh, his mum's making me food. That means she really likes me. That means I'm potentially going to be his wife. Remove that from your mind by not eating the food and actually focus on getting to know him. So this is a really strong point. Do not act like husband and wife before you need to. Another myth of dating that we were definitely told is you should have everything in order before you meet your partner.
My goodness, I was told I must have X amount of property, X amount of finances, make sure that I'm fully patterned up in order to be settled up before my wife arrives.
Meanwhile, we met at university at the age of 20 and 21, broker than broke, had no idea what our future was, what our purpose was. We worked it all out together.
We both came out of relationships and they were quite toxic.
And here we are, 7 years of marriage. So it's just crazy how there's so many rules to dating now.
Yeah.
It's like, he must be earning this much, you must know who you are, you must be doing this, you must that. And it's just not the reality.
And I think like there's a lot of pressure to have your life fully patterned out. But I think what is more important is that you're aware. You're aware of your weaknesses, you're aware of your strengths, you're aware of the things that you need to heal from, and actually be willing to embark upon a journey with someone. Be vulnerable and say, this is where I'm at, and I'm willing to embark upon a journey, and let's grow together. When I look back at who I was then and who I am now, there's been a significant amount of growth. And I think, if I am being really honest, is that Anna's really accelerated my growth and made me a better person than who I was before. And I don't know how I would have been able to achieve the things and have, you know, the support structure to be the person I am now if she wasn't here. Yeah,
it's so easy to think that if you're just on, you know, on your own in a little corner, doing self-development, that's the best way to grow. But actually, the best way to grow is in community and with other people. So there's nothing better than having your spouse who really cares for you and has your best interests at heart. It really helps you confront those things that you're probably trying to deal with later, or actually reveals to you what you need to work on. And if you have that willingness and you have that awareness, then you can actually work on it together and you can grow together.
You can have your weaknesses and still be confident in who you are, and just knowing that you're a work in progress. But if someone does enter into your life, because sometimes someone does enter into your life and you feel, oh my God, I'm not ready. And you almost start self-sabotaging that relationship. But no, you can still have confidence in who you are and still know that you can bring something to the table and not have your life fully patterned up.
I think dating is beautiful when two imperfect people come together, both knowing that they're imperfect, but also willing to go on that journey together of growth and self-discovery. And then years down the line, you look back and you're like, actually, we're better people, we're better together, and we know how to work on ourselves.
Yeah, like Anna said, like the development stage doesn't have to be a solitary pursuit of getting better. You can actually do it together in a relationship if both of you are willing, you're both honest with each other, you're both vulnerable, etc. And I think when you look back, it actually makes your relationship sweeter because of the journey that you've been on.
Another myth of dating is that the more people you date, the more clarity you have.
Plenty of fish, plenty of fish, plenty of fish. That's what people like to say. Like, you know, you just go around, you just cast your net and see what bites, and then you just taste all the fish.
And that will help you know exactly what you want.
Exactly, but that couldn't be further from the truth. It's really difficult to get to know someone, and when you add multiple people into that mix, it makes it very difficult and also quite confusing, because what are you really deciding upon? You don't really, you don't know anybody, but yet you're trying to make a decision on which journey to go on. So it's actually, I would say, from our experience, it's better to focus on one person at a time and actually see how that goes. And if it doesn't work, then you cut it and then you can transition.
I think choice is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, because as you can see in the current times, there's so much access to different types of people. I mean, it's not just about the people you meet face to face anymore. You're meeting people online. You're seeing things on social media. Joining dating apps. So actually, people are crippled by choice, which is why people are not making decisions. So actually, it does make sense that you just do one at a time and actually give your full attention to one and see how that goes, and then evaluate afterwards.
Because people have so much option, they're treating it more transactional. So they're not really willing to invest emotionally, and they're not investing their time, they're not investing effort, and they're expecting it to go somewhere. So it's important just to remember, relationships do take work, and it's actually better to focus on one person rather than trying to see how many people you can date at the same time, because it just adds to confusion, and you just go from relationship to one relationship, and you don't actually get what you actually want, which is a deep and meaningful relationship, because it'll be very surface level.
And we understand that it's risky. It is risky to put all your eggs in one basket in a given moment. But at the end of the day, it's respectful, that's one. And two, for yourself, it just allows you to really go all the way and explore what could be with that potential individual and really analyze the situation with your eyes fully focused on that one scenario.
It could actually be riskier to have multiple people, and it actually could take more time if you're with multiple people, because you're not getting the depth. So at the end of the day, like, yes, it may feel like it's taking a lot of time in a given moment to get to know one person, but if you look over a span of like months and years, it could actually be a shorter process getting to know one person rather than spending, 6 months here, 3 months here, 5 months there, 4 months there, blah, 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 and not actually getting to know anyone.
Yeah, and you're practicing what it actually is to be in a relationship with one individual, which is what you plan to do for the rest of your life. So when actual conflict happens early on, instead of you saying, oh, I bun this girl, I'm going to go to another who I'm already talking to and there's no problems there, it actually enables you to see, how do we manage conflict together? How do we work through problems? Is that something that we can do well together? And if so, should we continue? But I feel like people are cancelling someone that they're dating very quickly because they have options, and actually that might be the person that you should be spending your life with. The last myth that we got told when dating is that you should focus solely on the person that you're dating. It's all about just the two of you and you being in your bubble.
You hear the saying, you and them against the world. But the reality of it is that there are a lot of factors that actually determine the success of your relationship, and those factors are sometimes out of your control. And by out of your control, one of the biggest contributing factors is the circle that your partner keeps. Their family, their friends, their connections. Because what we realized that when we introduced each other to our families and they were able to embrace each other, if we ever had a difficult time, they'll be there encouraging us to go back together rather than encouraging us to be pulled further apart.
And it's so important because obviously some couples are from very different backgrounds. And when you are introduced to that family, do they accept you? Do they embrace you? Are they for you? If they're not for you, then you need to be able to handle that and have the discussion between the two of you. Can we get through this based on the fact that our families don't support us? All of these conversations need to be had within the dating phase.
Because I realised that sometimes, especially later on when you're thinking about marriage and stuff, when it's just you two, it's sometimes difficult for you to really go through the difficult times. You do want the support structure again, just to be able to help you through your relationship. So if you're dating and you ask yourself the question, does their family like me? Do their friends like me? Do I like their family? Do I like their friends? Therefore, is the person really the right person for you? Because you might like the person, but you might not like the overall environment. And therefore, can a relationship really flourish if the environment is not conducive to the relationship?
And also, getting to know everything around them helps you see how they act in the environments around them. Because sometimes you're so busy just dating the person that you think you know them, but actually, what's their dynamic when they're around their friends? What's their dynamic when they're around their family? If their family is not supportive of your relationship, but they are within that environment, and they say, look, guys, this is not something you can say because this is my woman. Are they defending you in that type of environment? I think when you are dating just that person exclusively and you're just staring into each other's eyes, you're getting a one-dimensional view of what it's like in a relationship with that person. So those are the myths of dating. Those are the 5 things that from our perspective we were told, and we said, you know what, we do not agree with those. And they seem to become more prominent now as people are dating in the current times, which I think is making it much more difficult to actually be with the
And we always say, you got to fail fast in your relationship. So yes, go in quickly, understand values, desires, goals, dreams for the future, etc. That emotional connection. Let's get in there quite quickly. And if it's not gonna work, let's leave. But in terms of emulating a marriage and trying to align your paths, having sex before marriage, moving into house quickly, sharing finances, all those kind of stuff, guys, we could save that till later. And you want to make sure that you really get to know the person before you actually step forward. And if it's not working, we got it. But if it is working, keep it going, and we hope you have a happy, successful relationship.
So we hope you enjoyed that video, Deku Fam, and we'll see you in the next one.